Hello there.
What if the younglings killed Anakin? Part 3. Obi-Wan was in a cell, and Palpatine was torturing him, asking him for names. Palpatine wanted to know who survived the purge. Obi-Wan wouldn't speak. Palpatine sensed a great disturbance in the Force, so he asked Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan said it was a youngling. But Palpatine thought he was joking, so he kept torturing him. But Obi-Wan was right. It was a youngling, and he was with Darth Maul and his army. They were heading for Coruscant. While they were waiting to go to Coruscant, the youngling was trading with Maul. And soon, they arrived on Coruscant. As soon as they got off their ship, they were greeted by clones, which they easily disposed of. Obi-Wan sensed the dark presence in the Force. He knew that the youngling came, and he was not alone. Palpatine could also sense the dark presence in the Force. He knew the youngling came. And he knew that Darth Maul also came. He was worried. He knew he couldn't take Darth Maul and the youngling together. There was only one option. He hated this option, but he wanted to live, and he didn't want to be overthrown by a youngling. So, he released Obi-Wan from his cell. Obi-Wan didn't have a lightsaber, but he decided to punch Sidious. But before he could, Sidious electrocuted him with Force lightning. And he told him, "I can't take this youngling alone. He's with Darth Maul. I need your help." Obi-Wan didn't want to do this, and he knew that Yoda would not like this either. Speaking of Yoda, he was still having death sticks. Back to Obi-Wan. He knew he had two choices. One, get killed and let Sidious die and let the youngling rule the galaxy with Darth Maul. Or two, team up with Sidious and maybe defeat the youngling and Darth Maul, and his fate would be decided later. So he chose the second option. So Sidious released Obi-Wan, and his plans were to kill him later. Soon the youngling and Darth Maul came, and they force-choked Palpatine's guards. This youngling's hatred was fueling him. He was now more powerful than Revenge of the Sith Anakin. They soon saw Sidious and Obi-Wan after taking down all of Sidious's guards. And Darth Maul immediately started running to Obi-Wan to fight him, leaving the youngling and Sidious. Sidious just laughed at the youngling before shooting Force lightning, which the youngling quickly deflected with Anakin's lightsaber. Sidious was impressed for a kid that age to deflect Force lightning like that. So Sidious pulled out his crimson red blade and started to attack the youngling. Obi-Wan and Maul started fighting, and they were equally skilled at this point. Well, Obi-Wan would probably have upper hand, but he was just tortured, so... Anyway, Maul brought up every single pain in his life, and they all started with Kenobi. If it wasn't for Kenobi, his master would not have abandoned him, and if it was not for Kenobi, then Savage Opress wouldn't have died, and same with Mother Talzin. But Obi-Wan was fighting for Anakin. He wasn't fighting because he hated Maul. Obi-Wan stopped for a second. He didn't have too much time, so he used his Master Qui-Gon stance to trick Maul. Maul fell for the trick, and when he went to strike down Obi-Wan, Obi-Wan quickly changed back to his original form and killed Maul. Meanwhile, the youngling was still fighting Sidious. The lightsaber was way too big for him. Sidious used that as an advantage, and he quickly broke the youngling's lightsaber. The youngling was on his knees, and he only had one thing, sand. And he didn't have too much sand. The youngling thought that the same trick that he did on Anakin would work on Sidious because all Sith Lords hate sand. So he threw the sand in Sidious's eyes. Sidious was on his knees. The youngling quickly took his lightsaber and struck Sidious down. Obi-Wan was so exhausted from all the torture and fighting Maul that he fainted. The youngling thought this would be an advantage and was about to strike Obi-Wan down when a lightsaber blocked him. It was Yoda. Because of the death sticks, Yoda was more powerful than ever, but I don't recommend using them. Anyway, he started the duel with the youngling. It was called Duel of the Shorties. Yoda was moving so fast the youngling could barely dodge his attacks. And soon Yoda broke his lightsaber. The youngling was out of sand and started pleading, saying, "Master Yoda." But before he could say anything else, Yoda used the Force to push him out of the window.